Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our session entitled Deposited Now What? We will give it just a few moments to allow for everyone to join us, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us for our live chat entitled Deposited Now What? Understanding the New Falcon Experience. We really appreciate you taking some time to join us today. We recognize that we may have some students in this space, we may have some families or supporters. And we really appreciate that because we really do view our family members as partners in this experience. We know that your Falcons have been with you for much longer than they've been a part of the Bentley community. And we want to ensure that in the event that they do come to you or and ask questions or advice or support, that you have some of this information in your back pocket to help to support them. They will, of course, have many faculty, staff, and peer leaders who will be here echoing the same information. But again, we want to make sure that you feel confident in what you're able to share with students as well. And for our students who are in this space, this is your process. The New Falcon experience is such a wonderful time to really help to prepare you for being this Bentley Falcon. And so when we share this information with you today, please know that no questions are off the table. Throughout these next few months, as you are navigating all of the different pieces of the New Falcon experience, please know that we are here. We are here to help support you, to engage with you, and make sure that you can feel as prepared as possible to get started here at Bentley. So today we'll be doing some introductions in just a quick moment. We'll be talking in more detail around the New Falcon experience. Then we're going to share a few highlights of some tasks and some information that has been shared with you recently. And then we will end with some questions and answers. Throughout our presentation, if any question pops up, please feel free to submit that using the Q&A button on your screen. And please note that we will get to those questions at the end. And one last piece is that we are recording this session. We're incredibly fortunate that we have a global community. We have folks that are engaged in so many different things right now that we recognize we could not possibly find a time that would work for everyone. So this is being recorded. You'll be able to access this via our Bentley Orientation YouTube channel later today. And you are welcome to share this with a student who wasn't able to join us today or other family members or supporters to help them to feel included as they kickstart this experience. So I have already been talking your ear off, so let me give you a quick introduction to myself, and then I'll pass it over to my colleague. My name is Bobby Lynn Kekik, but here at Bentley, many people refer to me as BL, so you may hear that. I use the she series pronouns, and I'm the Executive Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caroline Horn. I am the Associate Director for Orientation and Student Onboarding here at Bentley, and I use she, her pronouns.
All right. So let's jump into this New Falcon experience. There are a few pieces that go into this full onboarding experience that our students and families will have access to. And if you hear the term onboarding, that might sound super formal, like you're starting a new job. But here at Bentley, we really view our onboarding process as the essential steps, experiences, and support that you deserve to help you feel prepared to thrive here at Bentley. So we have 3 buckets of ways that we will continue to engage you over these next few months. The first is around preparation. How are we helping you to feel that you are knowledgeable of the Bentley offerings and what your experience will be? How do we help support you to take care of some of those logistical tasks that are necessary? They're not glamorous, but they are important and are essential. And how do we make sure that you are prepared for course registration? Because we know that that is something that is already top of mind for you. So the way that we do that is through our New Falcon checklist task. That is something that you're able to access through Bentley Connect, which is the portal that you've been using through the admission process. There's a variety of tasks that you will be asked to complete. And we'll talk a little bit more about that during this presentation. Bentley Beginnings is our online orientation. This is something that is required for all new students, but is optional for our family members. Family members can go in and create a guest account, and then that way you're able to see all of the same information that your students have access to. Academic orientation and course registration is a self-guided process. In the end of June, we will provide some updated resources for our students and families to be able to view. These are short videos, about no more than 3 minutes in length, that give you insight into all of the different steps and pieces that you need to be aware of in preparation for course registration. You will then be invited, if you are interested, to participate in some optional advising sessions. This is all virtual, so again, at your own pace. If you are interested in that and want to connect with one of our professional academic advisors, you're able to do that. And then your course registration will take place at the end of July. For our transfer students, that will be on July 28th. And for our first year students, that will be on July 30th. From there, students will then have access during our orientation program, which Caroline will share a little bit more information about in just a few moments, to connect with staff on campus once you arrive. Throughout this process, please make sure that you ask questions. We know that this is new for everyone, and we want to make sure that you are feeling supported and connected through that process. Support is that next bucket, and that is huge for us because we know that regardless of what your experiences with previous colleges, institutions, if your family has experience with colleges or different universities, this is still a new experience for everyone. This is the first time that you are joining in summer of 2025 in the new Falcon experience. And so we want to make sure that you have that support that's necessary for you to be successful. So we have a few resources that you can access at your leisure. That's our quick guide, which is about 6 pages long. It's very short. It has a lot of direct links. So we've found that students find that really user-friendly to just know, what do I need to know and how do I get there? Our new Falcon Experience website is a lot more robust and detailed. It gives specific dates for when tasks are due. There's actually a countdown to when the next task is due. There's a subsection for family members that has a lot more resources. And then there's also all of our new Falcon news that are listed there, information about orientation. So there's a lot of details there. So we highly recommend that folks view that content as well. Our new Falcon News, hopefully you're familiar with this because we have sent out a few editions already, but this is our weekly newsletter that launches every Tuesday, provides information into important deadlines that are coming up, and then also some helpful information and knowledge for you to consider. New this year, we are copying our family members on this so that families are also able to take a look at what their students are receiving. If you are not on our mailing list, if you go to that new Falcon Experience website, then you'll be able to add that contact information there. And the last piece that we like to discuss around support is our new Falcon question forum. This has been a really fabulous tool that has helped a lot of new students and families as they're navigating this new Falcon experience. If you click on this link, and again, you can access it from the new Falcon news that we send out, the new Falcon Experience website, or even that quick guide. You click that link and then it will take you to a form where you can check off whatever question area you may have. You write that in, and then that form gets submitted to us, and we help to connect you with the appropriate office. So it allows us to do some of the heavy lifting to get you the information that you need. So please consider accessing that to ensure that we can get your questions answered in a timely fashion. And the last piece when we think of the pillars of the new Falcon experience is connection. And arguably, this might be the most important one because we know that your ability to connect with the community will help to lead to a sense of belonging. And research, to geek out a little bit, shows that when students feel that they belong in a community, that they have a higher likelihood to succeed. And that's what we want to do. We want to help create that foundation so that you can succeed. So a few ways that we do that is through our new Falcon Nest Working series, which Caroline will share a little bit more about in a moment. But these are really virtual engagement opportunities to help connect you with upper class students and fellow new Falcons to really help you to see who your cohort and network of folks will be here at Bentley. We do that utilizing a tool called Campus Groups. This is our engagement platform here at Bentley. And this is something that you'll continue to use far beyond the orientation experience if you're looking to go to other events or engage with clubs or organizations. Orientation, which is our big on campus opportunity to come together, connect with faculty and staff, to be able to have some great events and really make sure that you're settled in before you start classes on that Tuesday. And then at Welcome Falcons is our social media platform that we continue to engage with folks far beyond the new Falcon experience. We have a lot of students and families that will continue to leverage that platform throughout their time at Bentley to stay connected and looped in. So this is really the pillars, the cornerstones of the new Falcon experience, and really ensuring that we can help to prepare you, support you, and connect you with the community. So as I mentioned, those new Falcon tasks, these are going to be the tasks that are in your Bentley Connect portal. This is your admission portal that you've been using throughout the process. So when you are logging into this, this is whatever email you've used from the start. Once you've actually set up your Bentley email, we highly, highly encourage folks to go in and update your information within Bentley Connect to reflect your Bentley email, because then you only have to remember one login for everything Bentley. So highly, highly encourage that. And if for some reason you have not set up your Bentley email account yet, what we would encourage you to do is to reach out to our help desk at bentley.edu staff, and they'll be able to work with you to ensure that you can get that account set up. It's really essential that you do that as soon as possible, because in order to access any of these new Falcon tasks, you will need that Bentley Connect, or excuse me, that Bentley email and login. I want to draw your attention to a few of the tasks that are coming up relatively soon. So again, if you haven't set up that email, let's make sure that we try to prioritize that in the next few days so that you're not missing these upcoming deadlines. So next week on June 11th, the critical reading and writing essay is due, and then also the housing and meal plan contract and application. That is only if students are planning to live on campus. So if you are commuting to campus, you do not need to worry about that task. But if you are looking to live on campus, it is essential that you complete that task by 4 p.m. Eastern Time in order to secure your spot on campus. Unfortunately, due to how many folks want to live on this beautiful campus, if we do not have your application in and your contract in by that June 11th, housing may not be guaranteed. So we're really, really, really asking folks to go in and make sure that they are completing it by that deadline. If you are bringing in potential credit and you think you may not need to complete the critical reading and writing essay, great. That is wonderful for you. What we do ask is that folks still go in and click that link, and then there'll be a little drop down that says, I am bringing in AP credit. I do not feel that I need to do this critical reading and writing essay. And then by doing that, it will check it off on your checklist. If for some reason you thought you were going to score a certain level and you did not, then you will be able to access that writing essay at another point and be able to work with the faculty to make sure that you get placed in the appropriate writing course. But it's really important that everyone goes in and completes that task and checks that off. And then the last piece that we just wanted to draw your attention to, because that will be coming up shortly after, is our immunization and health records submission. This is due on June 15th. We have traditionally found that this is a task that folks may connect with their family members or supporters on because it is such a new process, but it is very user-friendly, and there are staff that are available to help to walk you through that. But that is something that you're going to want to be very attentive to for that June 15th deadline. One note I do like to mention is that for some of the immunizations that we require, if you do not have access to those immunizations in your home country, we will have a clinic available on campus to be able to access those. We do request that you just reach out to us through that new Falcon question form to give us a heads up that that might be something that you need. So I am going to pause because you have heard a lot from me and pass it over to Caroline to talk a little bit about some of these resources as we think about support.
All right. So to ensure that you and your student have appropriate resources and support throughout the New Falcon experience, we have created our New Falcon Quick Guide and our New Falcon Experience website. The Quick Guide provides essential details and direct links to help you and your student access information and to complete tasks. If you are looking for more details and resources, we encourage you to check out bentley.edu/New Falcon Experience, as there are more details on tasks, support, and ways to get connected at Bentley. And there's also a section on the webpage for family members to help support their New Falcon. In addition to the quick guide and the website, everyone will be receiving a quick newsletter every Tuesday with all the essential information you need to know from Bentley. At this point, there have been a few sent out to you and your students. And so please make sure that you are continuing to check your Bentley email every Tuesday from now through orientation in the fall. During the New Falcon experience, so throughout the summer, we have a programming and engagement series called New Falcon Networking. This is an opportunity for students to be able to connect with fellow New Falcons, upper class students, ask questions, and have the opportunity to win some Bentley swag as well. And if you are really excited about growing badges and campus groups, you can do that too. More information on campus groups will be shared towards the end of this week, early next week, for students to really start engaging in that platform. And they'll be able to connect with both their New Falcon mentor and some members of our orientation team through the platform throughout the entire summer. And then one final piece about opportunities for connection. We have an app called Campus Groups, which really serves as our main engagement hub for all students throughout their academic time here. And this means if you want to join a club, org, or attend an event, you'll be able to use this app. And to help you get familiar with it, we will launch this over the next couple of weeks. And so students are able to use it pre-orientation, but then also our entire orientation schedule, and a lot of different resources will be available for students via campus groups.
All right. And so as we think about the next piece, right? You do all of this work and we get you to orientation. So, orientation at Bentley happens right before classes start. But something that I like to always mention is that orientation at every college or university looks very different. So, if family members are talking to friends or if upcoming students are talking to their friends, they may say, hey, I actually went to my orientation in the spring, or my orientation is just online, or I'm going to a 2-day program in the middle of the summer. Whatever that might be is really built to best to support that institution that they are going to. Here at Bentley, we really view our orientation as a tiered process. So you have access to the online piece here in June. You'll then continue to receive support through the academic process with some of those self-guided modules in July. And then as we start to really ramp up and think about you joining us on campus, we'll have a few self-guided modules to prepare you with some content. So that way you can kind of digest some of that before getting to campus. And then we get you to campus. Before you'll join us, we will have a virtual opportunity for you to connect with your orientation leader. That is optional. We recognize that folks will be traveling or getting prepared for their arrival to Bentley, but we've received some really positive feedback from students in the past that this has been really helpful to be able to know at least one familiar face when they're arriving to campus. If for whatever reason you're unable to attend, your orientation leader will still reach out, make sure that you're connected with the rest of the group, and give you some of that valuable information. But we have heard some really great feedback from students about that opportunity. So here we go. We got you to the end of the summer and you're about to come to orientation. We want to ask you to save the date. We're going to throw out two different dates right now. So the first one, if you are an international student, you'll be coming in studying on a visa here at Bentley. Your orientation date will begin on August 26th. There'll be some exclusive programming happening on that 27th, and then you will roll into the larger university orientation on the 28th. If you are not participating in the international orientation, then you will plan to start your orientation experience on August 28th. Orientation really serves as an opportunity for you to physically be on the campus, for you to become acclimated with university life, and really take all of this information that you've been getting through the admission process and then through your new Falcon experience to really say, okay, I'm here, this is happening. How do I make sure that I can be successful as I'm starting this journey? You'll have the opportunity to connect with different faculty and staff. We'll have different sessions around our values and ensuring that you understand your rights and responsibilities as a new community member here at Bentley. Of course, we're going to introduce you to our academic community. We know that that is the core reason why you are joining this fabulous institution. But complementary to that, we want to make sure you're engaging with all of the opportunities that we have here at Bentley. So we'll have chances for you to have some introduction to social, educational, and cultural programs, really digging into thinking about your own well-being and how are you really setting up goals to allow you to find some balance in this first year at Bentley. And then we also want to make sure that you start to see how you're part of this Bentley story and really what are some of these traditions that you are now a part of. On day one, we have this awesome community tradition called the Falcon Walk, where all of our community members will process down to our Bentley Arena and will participate in convocation. And so that is the true introduction into the academic year at Bentley. So you get two traditions in one. And then, of course, orientation, that is another tradition. And we have a few wonderful traditions that happen during that program that you'll start to be able to learn a little bit more throughout these next few months. The last piece that I do like to share with folks around orientation, people will ask, especially family members, should we stay in the local area so we can continue to see our student? And what I will offer up is please do what feels most comfortable for you. With that being said, students are very busy once they start orientation. We will keep them engaged from about 8 in the morning until at least 8 or 9 at night, and sometimes even later if they choose to go to some of our social programs. So it's a pretty busy time for our students. If you are traveling in, and again, you do choose to stay in the area, on Monday, September 1st, there is no scheduled required programming on that day. Students typically use that as a day to kind of go around and find their classes so they're feeling more comfortable starting on that Tuesday, or maybe even just relaxing and continuing to settle into their room at that point. But that would be a day where you may be able to reconnect with your student. And then while I mentioned international orientation and then also our university orientation, there are two other opportunities for pre-orientation experiences. So for students who may be interested in our Mosaic experience, which is for our students of color and their allies, it talks a lot around identity and resource and development. It's a fabulous program if that's something that you might be interested in. We last week, I believe, put some information in our new Falcon News. So please feel free to check that out if that's something that interests you. And then the last piece is our defined communities. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But if you are interested in living in one of our 7 defined communities, these are communities that are dedicated to specific interest areas or communities. You have the ability to live with people who are applying to be in this space. You're connected with different faculty or staff. You'll have the ability to also engage in other leadership opportunities with this group as well. So those two communities would arrive earlier than those the 26th or the 28th date. So just keep that in mind if those are programs that you're applying into. And then, of course, our families. As I mentioned, you all are partners in this experience with us, and we want to make sure that you're feeling supported and connected as well. So, a few things to keep in mind throughout these next few months. We will continue our live chat series. This will happen throughout the first year. And if you can join us live, please do. If you can't, no worries. We'll record them. You can view that at your convenience and then continue to reach out to us through that new Falcon question form that I referenced. We also have some on-demand videos on our orientation website that you can take a look at. And we like to draw our attention to some of the on-campus receptions that will be happening if you are able to travel with your student to campus. So the week of August 25th, there will be some receptions for families as you arrive with your student, with more details to come. Again, we recognize that not every family is able to travel with their student, and that is okay. That is why we will continue some virtual workshop opportunities and live chats throughout that first year to ensure that we're keeping our families informed. And the last piece that I want to draw your attention to is our monthly family newsletter. This is something that you'll receive every third week of the month starting this June. You will learn some more information about what the cadence of this looks like and then some of those resources. And then you'll continue to receive that throughout your students' time here at Bentley. And then the last piece, I promise, before we get to those questions and answers, are just a few highlights for the new Falcon experience. So I know I already referenced this, but if you are planning to live on campus, which is a fabulous opportunity if it's something that you're hoping to take advantage of, that application is going, in that contract, is going to be due on June 11th. This was available starting May 21st, pending you already had your Bentley email set up. If you have not set up your Bentley email, then you may not have seen this communication yet. That is why we are really, really, really trying to ensure that people set up that Bentley email. That is going to be really essential to allow you to be able to participate in these different tasks. If you are under 18, obviously there is a housing contract component to this. So we would need you to sign a copy with a parent, guardian, supporter, and email that to housing@bentley.edu to allow that contract to be processed. Once you complete your contract, you will then gain access to the housing application. This is where you're going to provide information around potential room style preferences. I would say that most commonly folks are requesting doubles or triples. And so you can put that information in there. If you already know someone that you're wanting to room with, you can input that information. You would have to ensure that everyone that's hoping to live together requests each other. Because if only, if I wanted to live with Caroline and I put that in, but Caroline didn't request me, the housing team is not going to put us together. Both folks would need to put that in their application. And if you are already following us on our @Welcome Falcons Instagram account, we actually posted a video yesterday for our Tech Tip Tuesday that demonstrates how someone can log into the housing portal and then go in and request that roommate. I would say 9 out of 10 times, people really do defer to the application submission to be strategically placed with a roommate or roommates. But there are some times where folks come in because they may have met someone or they're on the same athletic team with someone, and they do choose to put in that request to room with someone. The last pieces with the housing contract and application that are optional steps. If you are interested in one of those defined communities, you would apply through that process as well. If you are looking to request a roommate, again, you would submit that, but it's not required. And then the last piece is if you have any medical or religious accommodations that you need to request any support for or any specific accommodations, that would follow the same timeline. So again, all of that would be on that June 11th date that you would need to submit this information. And this is a question that we do get from folks, so we like to put a quick plug in for this. I believe this was last week or the week before. You should have received a communication from Bentley that outlined some information around our laptop purchase program. This is not anything that's a requirement, but it is something that people have found really useful. At the very least, this information provides what the minimum standards are for computer configuration. So if you have your own computer, wonderful. This will give you information to ensure that it has at least those minimum standards to allow you to be able to connect with and engage with all of Bentley's platforms, softwares that are needed. If you do have a Mac or you prefer a Mac, we do highly encourage you to read some of the information on this website to give you some insight to how things might be a little bit different for how you would access information or what platforms or softwares you may or may not have access to with the Mac platform. So we highly encourage you to view this. Again, it was emailed to you, it was in the newsletter, but then we also have this on our New Falcon Experience website. So please do take a look at that so that you have some more information as you're making a determination about computing at Bentley. We just gave a lot of information to you. And so what we're going to do now is open it up to any questions that folks may have, whether it's about the content that we just provided or other questions that you may have that you're hoping to get some answers to.
The first question we have in the Q&A is about defined community move-in and participation in all the different like pre-orientation. So the defined community students would move in early and participate in a pre-orientation, and then they would join the entire class for the orientation program. If students are part of multiple, then it is their choice to pick which orientation they're at, if they overlap with, say, defined communities and the international student program.
What other questions do we have? Ellen, do you want to give a quick plug for our event this evening? So if we have any students who are on the call, they can be looped into this, or for family members, if you want to nudge your student to join us at the event tonight, could be a good way for them to learn a little bit more and start connecting with folks.
Sure. So tonight we're collaborating with the Residential Center on a Kahoot trivia / roommate mixer event. So this will be an opportunity for students to learn more about the housing application process and also connect with other new students. It will take place at 8 p.m. tonight on Zoom. The link is available through our New Falcon events page on their Bentley Connect portal. And it really will be a chance just to connect with other new students who are joining our community in the fall, but we'll also have our upper class New Falcon mentors and a few of our student coordinators there, in addition to some of our hall directors who oversee some of the FYA. So definitely an awesome opportunity for students to really start engaging in a fun way. We'll have some different like speed networking questions for students to really start connecting with people and hopefully start to form some connections that they'll have once they arrive on campus.
Awesome. And I know we are terming it roommate mixer, but by no means do we expect people connect there and feel like they have to be roommates.
Yeah.
It's just more of a kitschy way that we can connect in the residential center team and just get folks starting to connect before they arrive to campus.
And I believe there's been a question posted on um, the Welcome Falcons Instagram this week about like a Spotify playlist. So if your student's interested in sharing a song that they may want to hear during orientation, they can definitely answer that. And the residential center will also be hosting a Baby Falc Friday for students on Friday. And so we posted up a question box yesterday, and a member of their team will answer questions live on Friday for anything and everything Res Life at Bentley. So definitely, if you haven't followed Welcome Falcons yet, go and follow it. It is a great resource for both students and families. And we are also picking up content on TikTok as well. So if you want to follow us there too, there will be more information, including some of our Tech Tip Tuesdays and some ways to learn more about our team through Memorable Monday and those sorts of things. So definitely two great options too to stay connected with us.
We will try to share some content through Facebook because we know some folks might be in that space more, but I would say if you're looking for more consistent posting, Instagram would be the
Yeah,
best place to follow us.
yeah.
One question that we have received in our previous live chat is about setting up that email. So just wanted to give some quick notes there. So once students deposited as part of that process, they were asked to read and electronically sign off on their acceptable use policy. So once they click that, then that generates their Bentley email account. And then within about 2 to 3 business days, they will receive an email that instructs them, hey, this is your Bentley email. This is how you log in. We do have an authenticator that folks will have to log into as well, just to help to ensure security with all of our accounts and systems. And if folks either missed that email or maybe somehow it got to your spam, or they deposited really early and just didn't recognize that that was going to be coming so quickly after the deposit, again, that is completely okay. We just ask that folks reach out to helpdesk@bentley.edu, and then that team will be able to work with your student directly to ensure that they get those instructions to set up that email account. Most students have already done this. So if you are a student on this space or if you're a family member, just for family members, just checking in with your student to make sure that they've done that. But most people have. But for those who haven't, we really just are trying to push that because we want to ensure that folks aren't missing out on these deadlines and these opportunities, specifically with housing. If that is something that folks are hoping to be a part of, we really want to ensure that they're getting in by that June 11th deadline. So if you could just quickly connect with your student to make sure that they've done that, that would be great. If they haven't, it's still okay. Just encouraging them to reach out to helpdesk@bentley.edu as soon as possible, and they'll be able to get them those instructions. So we just got a question about placement process. So we have 2 processes here at Bentley. So one is our critical writing and reading essay submission. So that essay submission, you put that essay in, the writing faculty will go ahead and review that. And then based on what your essay presents, they will say, hey, I think you would be best suited. For that essay process, I think that's something you can always, you can chat with the faculty to say, hey, I was really hoping to be placed in this level. It can be a conversation piece. I will say, the faculty are typically pretty spot on of looking at the level of writing and identifying what might be the best placement for students, but they can definitely talk through that. For our math placement process, which will be opening up shortly, that is a process where students will have the ability to retake. So if a student takes the assessment the first time around and was hoping to be at a different level of math, then they can definitely retake that. I believe folks can take it up to 5 times. And what's really great about the tool is that there's also some learning modules. So if folks feel like, hey, you know what, I don't quite understand some of these questions that are being asked, you have the ability to do some learning in between taking some of those sessions. So, I think anytime we're hearing this placement assessment, of course, it's going to pique our interest and anxiety might start to heighten. But what we're really reminding folks is that this is meant to help to identify where your skill level is currently at. Let's place you in those courses, and make sure that you're getting the level of math or writing that is necessary. But again, with writing, if you feel like there is a conversation that's helpful to be had, that can definitely happen. And then for the math placement piece, that is going to be based on what your skill level is. And again, you would complete that. Same thing with math placement. If you are bringing in credit, so you wouldn't need to take the assessment, again, you would click that link and you would denote that, and then it would let you know that it's not necessary for you to take the assessment. If you don't think that, again, that you're going to be bringing in a certain score with an AP or an IB, then we would always encourage folks to take the assessment, because then you have that done. But you will have more information on that shortly. But I know it's easier for me to say, try not to be anxious about this, than it might feel for our students. But we really, really, really do use this as an indicator to what some of that work level is going to look like in these courses. And so wanting to make sure that we can really help set the students up for success for what that looks like. Well, seeing that we have no other questions, I'm confident that questions will probably come up at some point through the process. And just please know that we are here. We are here to continue helping you throughout this process, and making sure that we can really support you in any way possible. So with that, I did want to do a quick shot of our QR code to bring you to our new Falcon question form. So if you want to click that, that will show you what the form is. If you do not want to access it through there, that is okay. If you go to our new Falcon experience website, you'll be able to use a direct link. Again, as a student or a family member, you can access this new Falcon question form. And it really just helps to centralize where your questions are coming in so that we can help to get that answer. Of course, if you're connecting with an office offline and you already have a relationship, please feel free to do that. We're not trying to direct you in different locations, but this is a really useful space to just say, hey, I have 4 different questions. I don't know where to go. If you go to this form, we'll help make sure that you get connected where you need to be. So with that being said, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy lives to be here with us. We really appreciate it. And we cannot wait to continue connecting with you over these next few weeks and months. And again, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, and welcome to Bentley, and we will see you all soon. Thanks so much and take care.